Hey kids, welcome to Unit 2, Lesson 4, this keyword, exercise number 6. We have a choose your own adventure. Kids, if you know me, you know one of these I am super excited to do. Well, that's right, the hair products. Let's jump in and see what we have to do. A hairstylist wants to keep track of the products they use to style their client's hair. We're going to write a parameterized constructor for hair products and assign specific values to the instance variables using the this keyword. We're going to write a no argument constructor in the hair product class to assign default values to the instance variables using the this keyword. In Stylist Runner, we're going to instantiate hair product objects using each of the constructors. And then we're going to print the constructors and the values assigned to the instance variables for the hair products object. That's not too bad. Let's look at our code. In our Stylist Runner, not too much here. In hair products, we have 3 instance variables, a string type, a double price, and a boolean is curly. Space to write our constructors. Then we have a get method that's returning the type, a get method returning the price, and a get method returning is it curly or not. Let's go ahead and start with our no argument constructor. First, we have to write one. We're going to use the accessor method public. Our class is hair product. There's no parameters, so just some empty parentheses. And we're going to do our semicolon end of default. Now inside here, we're going to use our this keyword to assign some values to our constructor. What is this keyword doing? If you haven't done lesson 2, 3, 4, I highly recommend it. They really explain well what is happening here. We talked a little bit about last lesson about global and local variables. We know our instance variables are global to the entire class, but our constructor variables are local to that constructor. That means when we use the same name, like type pricer is curly, Java gets confused and says, you mean the instance variables, right? Those are defaults. Here you go. But really, we want to refer to the local variables within that constructor, not the global ones. And that's really all this keyword is doing. It's saying use the variables in this object. A default one is all in one line. We use our this word. We do some parentheses and a semicolon. Now we have to enter some values in there. I don't know my hair products too well. Some of them might be a little dated. We'll say hairspray is our default. Its cost, I don't know, hairspray probably costs $19.99 these days. Who knows? Is hairspray for curly hair? I'm pretty sure it is. Now you can see we assign values to our default constructor. And instead of referring to the instance variables up here, we're going to refer to the instance variables within the constructor. All this is saying is, hey, we want this object's hairspray cost, and is it curly? That's it. Well, that's a default. Let's go ahead and write our parameterized. Again, it's going to be a public hair products. We do our parentheses and our curly cues. This is end of parameterized. We need to do the same thing with our parameterized constructor. We need to set up the parameters we're passing along. It's going to be a string type, double price, and then boolean is curly. We can totally bypass using this like we've done the last couple lessons by just giving these a different name, but that really is a lot more work, and it gets confusing when you have a whole bunch of parameter names. It's easier to keep them all the same. We're going to use this keyword again. Always start off our statement with this, dot modifier, type equal type. Don't forget your semicolon. Then this price equals whatever price we're giving it. And this is curly is referring to this is a curly variable. Now when I call the objects, I'm going to get the values within that constructor, not my instance variables. We're not done yet. We have to go ahead and call these constructors. Let's go over to Stylist Runner. First thing I need to do is create some objects. We'll do our default object, and this is going to be a hair product. Call this roads1 equals new hair product. No parameters here, and a semicolon. Let's do my 3-parameter object. That again is a hair product. Roads 2. This is a new hair product. And we got to pass along some parameters. I use shampoo, so I know that's still a hair product, so we'll do shampoo. I think the last time I was at the store, that was on $9.99. And is that for curly hair? I think that's false. I think you need special shampoo for curly hair. Let me know down in the comments if I'm wrong. Once I do that, I have to print off my constructors for these. So I'm going to go over here and copy that little line of code that we need. We're going to paste this in here, and the object is all roads1. And after that, we're going to give ourselves a little break so we know what we're doing here. So we're going to do a system.out.println, do some quotes and a bunch of dashes. So we know what we're doing here. Now we got to print off the values. So that's a system.out.println. In here, we're going to go type, and then we're going to concatenate. And from roads1, we're going to call the get type method. Do not forget your parentheses. At this point, I've created 2 objects, written a bunch of code. Really now is a good time to test to make sure we don't have any errors. Let's go ahead and hit run, see how our code's doing. So far, so good. We got our type hairspray to print off. Let's finish off our defaults. We got system.out.println. Now we got the price. Price is concatenate. And then again, roads1 get price. Don't forget the parentheses afterwards. One more, system.out.println. Is this for curly hair? Then we're going to concatenate, and we're going to do roads1 get is curly. Let's check this method. I think the I is capitalized. You never know. Let's go over to hair products. Get is curly. Get is curly. That looks pretty good. Let's go ahead and hit run and see if these print off. It does. This one right here was for my default object. Let's go ahead and print off my parameterized. I'm just going to copy this because I know it's spelled right. Paste this in. And now all I have to do is change my object from roads1 to roads2 to print off my parameterized constructor. I got everything changed there. Let's go ahead and hit clear and run. See if we get our parameterized constructor to print off as well. And it does. Our shampoo passed along. This is a pretty efficient way to write our code, isn't it, kids? Key takeaway from this lesson is really understanding what this keyword is referring to. It's just referring to the local variables of that constructor, not the global variables of the class. When do we use it? Well, we use it when we're using the same name for our parameters as we are for our instance variables. Because they're 2 of the same name, computer gets a little confused. We just have to let it know which object we want. So we tell it, well, this object right here. This again makes our code more efficient, easier to read, and easier to understand. Hopefully, this video helped you understand this keyword a little better. As always, kids, if you have any questions, come see me. Otherwise, I'll see you on the next video. See you later, kids. Bye, bye, bye.